You
Okay, thank you, Moria. Hello, everyone. In the last sessions, I spoke with you about the idea of classifying tacit knowledge using the onion model. And last week, I spoke with you about the most important skill to extract tacit knowledge in one-on-one interviewing. And we got a little deeper to this subject. Today, I'd like to be much more specific and show you a specific method that is aimed to extract tacit knowledge from professions based on interpersonal interaction. And this is the time to share my screen. Okay. A minute. Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So we're going to speak about the idea of using symbolic interaction key concepts in order to elicit tacit knowledge in professions based on interpersonal interactions. And I believe that in a few minutes it will be much more clearer. Okay, so first of all, when we speak about, excuse me, I have all these notes.
We're seeing your back and
Yeah, so
PowerPoint.
I have to change it. Okay, in a minute. What am I doing not right, Moria?
Please, you can exchange when you see the back and you can exchange. Put it on show mode, please.
Okay, it is on show mode.
And exchange, you can exchange the screen so that the other screen
Yeah,
is.
yeah, I understand. Okay, now it's better, right?
Uplift, exactly.
Okay. So when we speak about interpersonal interaction, okay, this is a social interaction carried out without any mediating technology. Okay, so what we are doing now, this is not what I'm calling interpersonal interaction, okay? Because 70%, something like 70% of our interpersonal communication is not verbal. It goes to many different dimensions, and we cannot speak about interaction by digital technology today. Okay, maybe in the future we will have new innovations, but today digital interaction is not interpersonal interaction. Now we know that there are some professions that are based on these interactions. Okay, when we speak about sellers, when we speak about negotiators, when we speak about psychotherapists, okay, when we speak about teachers, we speak about managers. We know all of these professions and much others are connected deeply to interpersonal interaction. So I claim that extracting tacit knowledge from this profession is very challenging. And I'd like to know, what do you think about it? Okay. Why do you think it is challenging to extract tacit knowledge from professions based on interpersonal interaction? Okay, I would love to hear you or write on the chat so we can see that we speak on the same page. Why is it challenging? Some ideas? We have some ideas on the chat. Uncodified. Okay, because knowledge holders don't know what to share, what is important. Oh, I love it. Because soft skills are not so codified yet. Yeah. Okay. And so much is based on gut feeling, interpersonal signals, and body language, facial expressions. Okay. Challenging because they don't know what they know. Okay. These people are very good at steering conversations, so they take the lead. Ah, okay. Engaging with others socially is always based on subconscious norms. That's true. Trust must be built first. Okay. Because maybe that we are not on the same level. Okay. They believe you are stealing them. Wow. I like to call them human skills, not soft skills. This is true. They are called today power skills. Okay. And not soft skills. They talk about the usual normal. The usual or normal. Okay. Who will use it when you have it? Another issue. Context is difficult to articulate. I agree. Interpretation and level of abstraction based on expertise level. Okay. Find touch points to establish connections. Human factors. You need to be the same wavelength Tacit knowledge is based on, in these professions, on intuition, experience, and a kind of gut feeling that can be difficult to articulate. Furthermore, these kind of interactions are very context dependent, because the listener has not been able to instruct or request for particular knowledge from the expert, because the listener does not know about what she knows. Okay, I see. Good answers. Okay, I think it's enough for now. So I guess we all agree that this is challenging. And I want to claim another claim, okay? I repeat this slide that you already that I have already shown to you in the prior sessions, okay? That speaks about common methods to extract tacit knowledge, and we speak about story analysis and reflective interviews and critical incident decisions, scenario simulation, video movement capture, observation, thinking aloud, brainstorming round tables, and communities of practice. But none of these methods is aimed or built to extract tacit knowledge from interpersonal interactions. Okay, we have no specific method that wants to deal or aim to deal with this challenge of interpersonal interaction. And the reason is the same reason why we don't know how to teach abstract professions that are based on interpersonal interaction. For example, if we speak about psychotherapy, you learn from your mentor, okay, you learn some tools, and most of it is going to be practiced with mentoring, okay, because it is not very defined. Now, when we speak about interpersonal interaction, okay, we have a problem to agree what are the descriptive concepts that we want to describe the interaction. Each one of us can look on the same interaction and describe it in different concepts, different words, and each one of us will analyze different units. One of us will look on the body language, one of us will look on emotional gestures or mimics, facial mimics, and others will look on the content. Each one of us will analyze a different unit. Now, the behavior during interpersonal interaction is integrative. Many things happen together. Okay, this is something we know is connected to the idea of tacit knowledge, because tacit knowledge in its essence is a very integrative phenomena. And we always want to dismantle in order to make sense from this knowledge and make it codified. So we have to reach some kind of a consensus, some kind of a same base level when we want to speak about interpersonal interaction. And I looked a lot on this idea and wanted to see whether this problem is already taken care of. I found some writings on these ideas already from the 70s. Okay, they knew to speak about the problem that we have to describe interpersonal interaction, the problem that we have to analyze these units. And we understand that if this scenario is so complicated, okay, we have to find some way to build a shared language, a shared concept level that we can use. And what came to my help is the idea of symbolic interaction, okay? Now I'm going to take the discussion to another place, okay? It's not something you see usually when you speak about knowledge management. This comes from the area of sociology. But this perspective that is called symbolic interaction, many of us have already met during some kind of studies in college or university. But the idea here can serve us very well when we want to extract tacit knowledge from interpersonal interactions. So symbolic interaction is a sociological approach that focuses on the centrality of meaning, developed and shaped through social interaction. Okay, and the idea is that all of us are symbol creators. We all interpret and make sense of our own social situation. Now, I guess that each one of you makes sense from this sentence because we do it all the time. We use symbols to communicate. I think this is one of the things that defines humans. We have the abstract thinking and the abstract communication that we can build using symbols. Okay, now we are in a global session. Okay, we use an international language, and these symbols that I use help me transfer the knowledge, the information, and the message that I want to transfer to a global audience. So this is a way we can communicate. Now, the easiest way to understand the framework of the social, the symbolic interaction, because this is a very wide body of knowledge. Okay, there are a lot of writings and publications, but the best way I found to understand it in a way that we can use is using Erving Goffman's writings. Okay, one is of his most known books is The Presentation of the Self in Everyday Life. Okay, so his idea is that we can use concepts that are taken from the theater in order to describe human interactions, human social interaction. Now think about it. When we see a good movie or we see a good show in the theater, the actors try to imitate as much as they can the reality. They want to be very realistic. And they use terms that help them understand what exactly they are doing. Now, these concepts of the theater can be used in order to describe interpersonal interaction. Now, you can understand when I speak about such kind of terms, I speak on a very wide terms and not specific terms, okay? If we see in psychology, for example, the effort to try and reach very small nuances, okay? I don't want to get into these specific small nuances. I want to get the wider picture in a way that we can go again and again and describe the interpersonal interactions. Now, we even don't have to understand all the symbolic interaction body of knowledge. It is enough to understand these 4 key concepts, okay? Because these 4 key concepts deal with the essence of interpersonal interaction. The first one is defining the situation. Now, at any given moment, we understand the situation we are part of, what is expected of or forbidden, what others do, and what we do in such situation. This is something we do automatically, okay? Every time 2 people meet together, they define the situation, they try to reach some kind of a common ground and understand what they are doing. So this is the way we engage in social interactions. The second key concept is self-presentation. Now, this is the way we choose to present ourselves in a particular situation, relying on our past and present experience and individual self-perception. Now, think to yourself, okay, you don't behave all the time in the same way, okay? You present yourself in a different way in the workplace. You present yourself in a different way in the gym, when you are in the supermarket waiting for your turn, or when you speak with a friend, okay? Or when you speak with your children, okay? You always present yourself in a manner that suits the situation. The third key concept I want to introduce you is role. We all know how to take role and to change roles, okay? Each of us have more than one role, one social role in his life, okay? You can be a manager, you can be a father, you can be a brother, okay? You can be a friend, you can be a child, okay? You know how to take these roles and behave inside the role that you chose accordingly to the situation you are in. The last concept I want to introduce you is the idea of impression management. Okay, now this is the way we use different strategies in order to influence the image we want other people to perceive. Okay, for example, people that want to look important, maybe they will use a specific clothing, specific items. They will speak in a specific manner. So people use impression management to strengthen the self-presentation they chose, to strengthen the role they chose. Okay. Now, Goffman showed it over his writings now when he made different researches and looked on different societies. And he showed that even if you reach and even when a student get inside a psychiatric institution, the mental ill patients will amplify their responses in order to help him diagnose their problem. Okay. So even people that are mental ill understand the social rules and the idea that they have to help the other person define the situation and give him the key or the clues that will help him understand what is the situation. So we all use this key concept, are reflecting actually the way we interact. And of course, there are many other terms, and we can make a better resolution and get deeper, but I think this is enough. Because I claim that these four symbolic key concepts can help us evoke and reach to a new tacit knowledge when we interview people, okay? Because we manage to take their consciousness to a place that maybe they didn't think about. Now, I'd like you to feel a little bit the idea of this key concept, and this is why we'll do some kind of an exercise, a simple exercise. Okay, we need several groups, Moria. Okay, we need 4 rooms. Okay, only 4 rooms. And each room will get a different key concept. Okay,
before we go to the rooms themselves, I'm now putting in the chat before people, before you finish explaining and people we leave, we are left alone.
Yes.
So please find on the chat now the link to the mirror board, specifically to the frame we will be using. Now, please explain, and then I will open the rooms.
Okay, thank you, Maria. Now, room number 1, okay, you are going to deal with the concept of defining the situation. Now, the question that I raise, and I'd like you to write your answers in the mirror board, is how do you define the situation when you enter an appointment in your job with unfamiliar clients or colleagues? What catches your attention? What signs do you look for that can help you fit and engage the discussion? Okay? This will be very interesting to see what you will come up with. The second group, okay, room number 2, you're going to deal with the idea of self-presentation. How do you like to present yourself to unfamiliar people? Okay, this is the first time you meet a person in some kind of a context, okay, and you want to introduce yourself. How will your self-presentation might change during a long interaction? Okay, you just met this person, but you sat together for 2 or 3 hours, okay, something changed. I would like to hear what is going to change in your self-presentation along the interaction. The third group, okay, you're going to deal with the key concept that is called role, okay? Please find roles that you all take during your lifespan in specific situation, okay? I gave you some examples, but there are others. The fourth group are going to speak about the idea of impression management. Now, if you don't feel free to speak about impression management behaviors that you use, you can speak about impression management behaviors that you noticed, even in other people in different situations. Okay, it can be a business associate, it can be a social event, it can be a formal event. Okay, what are the impression management behaviors that you noticed among people? Okay, this is the idea. So we will feel a little bit what do I mean when I speak about these 4 key concepts. Okay. Now, Moria, you can divide them.
So now we can open the rooms. It will be for 10 minutes. Just 1 minute. Here we go. Open, all rooms opened.
Okay.
Hi all, I resumed the recording, and I think that within 10 seconds, everyone would be here.
Okay. Moria, can you put up the Miro so we will see it?
Of course, I'll share my screen. Just a minute. My Miro is up, and I'll just...
Ooh.
Here we go.
Okay.
I'll go into them one by one.
Yeah.
Number one, here we go.
Okay. How do you find the situation? Okay. Hierarchy. Who is who? Room arrangement, sitting arrangement, define the language. Transport is set and setting. Okay. What is everyone's role? Camera background. You spoke also about the digital interaction. I speak only on face-to-face interactions when we speak about interpersonal interaction. Small task willingness, small talks, willingness. This is great. What is everyone's roles? Invitations to contribute. The clothes that people wear. Phil put the pain points. Okay. Language
Let's go
used.
to room number two.
Let's see what is happening in room number two. Okay. The self-presentation. Okay. Make friendliness clear. Okay. Want to gain perception of credibility from others. Start formal and get more informal. Then get more informal. Okay. Find common ground, share challenges. Okay, this goes back to the rapport we spoke about. Speak in business terms to business contacts. Helpful and responsive to people's needs or questions. Develop trust over time. Present with strength and professional confidence. Think about the audience, other people. Start with the informal, it's risky, outside professional comfort zone. Okay. What can I do to contribute to make a good professional impression? You see how this term is connected with the impression management. So people speak also about impression management when you ask them about presentation of the self. Risk personal sharing to build connection faster. Nice. Try to engage. Confidence. Okay. You can see from this slide, okay, and also from the prior slide, that this question makes you reflect and try to get deep into the way you behave. And this is the power of these key concepts, okay? And this is why we can use them in order to extract lasting knowledge. Let's see the third one. Role. Okay, I see a lot of work here. Okay, self-analysis. Managing director, event organizer, son, consultant, public speaker, little brother, PhD advisor, father, teacher, rebel. Oh, this is nice. We always have a rebel in any discussion. Okay, consultant, designer, application mentor, driver. Okay, this is nice. Okay, friend. Okay, fixer, the guy who fixes the problem, assistant, reflect on past experience, student, CEO. Okay, friend, team member. Okay, you got the idea. Okay, we have many different roles we use along the interpersonal interaction. Let's see the last one. The last one, I stole a lot of their time. Okay, but we can see that some of them wrote the idea of front stage and backstage. Okay, as I explained, actually, and Goffman speaks about the idea that the way we behave is the front stage. Okay, what we really think, our really authenticity happens with ourselves. Okay, and this is the way we perform. Okay, all the symbolic interaction speaks about performance in front of a crowd. Okay, every social interaction we have a crowd. Way of dressing, way of moving around, way to speak, way to look at people, behaving in general. When the boss is in the room, we are more formal. It depends on the situation. This is right. You can see that this is connected to the situation and the self-presentation. A culture, age, professions, clothes, jargon, and etc. This is nice. You got the idea. Okay, you all got the idea, and you managed to feel a little bit the idea of these symbolic interaction key concepts. Okay, now I made a shortcut because we can speak about symbolic interaction for hours. Okay, but our main interest is how to take the symbolic interaction and delve into the way we can use these key concepts in order to extract tacit knowledge. And this is what we'll do in the second, in the time we've got left. Okay, but I want to share my screen again. Wait a minute. I have sharing.
Not yet.
Oh, you're the host. Yeah. Okay. Now. Okay.
Almost. Here we go.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I claim that determining meaning concepts allows us to evoke the extraction of tacit knowledge and elicit tacit knowledge in a descriptive manner. Now, this is not a magic, okay? The idea is that when you use one of these concepts, you have then to use your interview skill and ask follow-up questions and drill in and dig in. But this is the way I managed to take the interviewee, to take his consciousness to this area that I want to get deep and understand the way he behaves. Okay? Now, we also know what is the consequence of using these terms. Each concept will bring you different results. For example, when you will speak with experts about defining the situation, usually it will evoke diagnostic tacit knowledge. What do I mean? This will help you understand how the professional looks at the situation. What does he diagnose at the other people that meet with him in this situation? His observation skill. Okay, think about a doctor, a medical doctor that managed to diagnose an illness according to the system. An expert in any kind of interpersonal interactions will know how to find cues, okay, that will help him understand exactly what is happening with the other people that are engaged in the same interaction. This is what I call to diagnose, okay, to identify. He manages to identify things in the other people that meet with him. Self-presentation usually will teach us tacit knowledge about the way people build their professional image and how they create rapport. You can see that even in your examples, you spoke about the idea that you want to introduce yourself in a way that manages to build a common ground. Okay, so this is the key to the rapport you will find through this key concept. When we speak about role, okay, people will also share with you self-perception and beliefs because the roles that we take are based on our life past experience. Okay, and you can get really interesting answers from people. I will show you later on some examples. Impression management, this will reveal tacit knowledge about the types of gestures, manners of communication, and specific manifestation made in the context of the ongoing interactions. Okay, you can see below the article I published in this about this idea to anyone who want to get a little bit deeper into this idea, okay? But this is what I expect to reach when I use these key concepts. However, you will find that this key concept will also expose other kinds of tacit knowledge that you did not expect. Because when we evoke the consciousness, okay, some people will have some kind of association and they will go on to a story. They will tell you something else. We want to reach this knowledge also. Okay, this is a win-win situation. I will take the first example. For example, I gave you I brought with me some examples from a research I conducted on experts in business negotiation. Now, these are really experienced experts, each one of them are also very successful. And I use this protocol with all the interviewees. You can see, for example, in this case, okay, when I asked this expert, how do you diagnose the situation in the room at the beginning of the negotiation? Okay, I help him understand the idea of defining the situation. Okay, this is why I will use words that will teach him the idea. When I was less experienced, I used to give a lot of weight to logistic aspects, the external of the meeting, the decor, the refreshment, and the level of service at the meeting. Today, I relate much more to the person with whom I'm negotiating. Now, this is a path that I can drill in and get much more. And this is why I start to ask follow-up questions. What do you pay attention in particular? How attentive he is to the event? How much he is distracted by disturbances? How much is he focused on the here and now? Is he pressed for time? How does he react to me? Pleasantly, suspiciously? okay, you can start and understand the mindset of this expert. Okay, he looks on different things from what you may think about. Okay, for example, attentiveness of the second side from his point of view, this is the most important thing. Okay, the rest may be impression management. Okay, he understands that. Okay, this is what makes him an expert. What do you look at later in the negotiation? I kept on drilling, okay? His level of enthusiasm in reacting to the ideas, his decisiveness or hesitance when answering questions. Does he give direct answers, seeks to advise, or need to consult with his bosses or advisors? Okay, now he goes to the other level and explain you that, okay, I understand that he's with me. He listens to what I'm saying. Now I want to see whether he has the ability to decide whether it is up to him or he is not the right crowd. Okay, these are ideas that the expert analyzes when you speak with people in negotiation. Do you focus on the content or the contract? It's a combination. However, the music reflected in body language, emotional gestures, tone of voice, hand movements in the eyes, the level of attentive listening, this is the type of information I feel is essential. Now, you can understand that even from this example by itself, I can teach newcomers to the profession of interpersonal interactions in business negotiation on what you should look at, okay, what you should be attentive to when you want to manage a good business negotiation. Another example is from the field of self-presentation, okay? And this guy, I asked him, how do you present yourself at the beginning of the negotiation? Okay, we want to see what changes with time. Depending on the situation, I usually display a kind of modesty by introducing myself using my first name. Okay, he wants to be less formal. Do you intentionally share a few details about yourself? No, I try to be warm, intimate, and informal. Now you can understand that this guy does two things that can be understood as contradicted. Okay, from one side, he does not share a lot of information about himself. He does not look open, but he knows how to project warm and intimate and informal behavior. Okay. Now I keep on drilling, meaning what? How do you do that? A warm handshake, a big smile, body language that radiates a sense of calm and relaxation. The message is, let's have fun. Let's try to enjoy ourselves. Does your self-presentation change from one negotiation to another? Of course, it depends on whom I'm dealing with. I usually try to create warm, supportive atmosphere. I express my willingness to share knowledge that I might have from previous roles, okay, experience with public companies. The main idea is to create warmth, intimacy, and trust at the interpersonal level. At the same time, to show a degree of superiority in the knowledge that will be made available to the other party. Okay, now you can see that he started from a place very a closed place, and he spoke about gestures, and now you can see that even in the gestures and the warmth and intimacy, there is an effort to create superiority in knowledge in the same time. Okay. Another example, you can see other ideas that come up when I speak about the role. Are there certain roles you take on during a negotiation? Yes, of course, I may change roles during the interaction. I can be in the role of supportive mother. I can also be a child who needs help to strengthen the other party's ego. Now, this expert, this is a female expert that has a very high skills in business negotiation, and she deals with a very exotic population, okay, of business people that want to invest a lot of money, and she knows how to go from one side to another side in these interactions according to the person that she relates to. Another negotiation specialist, I asked him whether there are certain roles that he takes during negotiations. Look at his answer. I prefer to stay neutral like an advisor that can show you the solution, but I insist not to take responsibility because the client must understand everything about the product and take responsibility for the outcome. Now, this is very interesting because only in this stage in the interview, this specialist reveal to me his own personal professional belief. He does not want to take a role because he knows that every role is connected with responsibility. Now, this guy sells materials that are very sensitive, and they might change and they might not look exactly when you put them in practice, when you renovate a house. And he does not want the client, okay, to make him connected in some way to the product. No, I will give you all the information you need. You must understand, but you also must take the responsibility. I will not take the responsibility for you. Now, this is a personal belief, okay, that is exposed here using this key concept. Okay, another example is impression management. Are there any specific actions you take during the negotiation process to strengthen impression management? Yes, by bringing things that can strengthen the relationship, such as a relevant book, a birthday present, quick responses to phone calls and emails. In short, by displaying many small gestures that express a high level of sensitivity, responsibility, care, and warmth. Now, this lady deals with business-to-business negotiation that most of them look like some kind of partnership. Okay, and you can see that she makes it very personal. The second example can show you something else. Okay, yes, I always want to show a high level of professionalism, so I always present numbers. For example, in yesterday's meeting with the clients, I noted that the field costs this much and your capital in this much, and how much you can afford for a mortgage. So you have 2.7 budget because you need another 1,000 for expenses, and then I'll tell them they can buy either a 5-room apartment or a garden apartment. I show them the data. I open the computer. I turn the screen, show them how I search. I put a bit of show with the numbers. I walk with a bag with a calculator and a pen and start writing and doing mental calculations. And sometimes they tell me, you go too fast. Please explain. Okay, this is the way this real estate mediator builds superiority on his clients. Okay, now you can see that we manage also to reach in new stories and scenarios that were not mentioned before. Okay, many times the interviewee will give you new examples in order to explain himself. So that's it. Okay, I try to convey the message and show you different ideas. Maybe I will add another example that was very nice when we work with the idea of impression management. I had, for example, another negotiation specialist, okay, that he knows how to change. He manages to change his outfit according to the hour and the place. So if the place will be in an office with the CEO, he will wear his precious suit and expensive watch. But if we will invite him home at evening, he will put other clothes. But what was interesting in this example is that the association made him explain me that he knows that people are not attentive the same way in the morning and at the evening. And he knows that at the evening, he has to work much harder and to use the message in a very elaborated way because people are not attentive. Now, this is something that was not raised in anyway during the interview session. So these key concepts can help you extract tacit knowledge. They reveal tacit knowledge not previously mentioned in reflective interviews, and they add depth to the interview process. Now, very important issue is to explain the key concept before using them. Okay, they don't know, they didn't read Goffman. Okay, the interviewee didn't read Goffman, he doesn't know the symbolic interaction. We have to explain it. We can explain and even use a different word in order to make the people understand that we want them to concentrate on a specific issue in the interaction. Okay, and then we should go and use follow-up questions for a deeper understanding. As much as you'll dig more, you will get much more information. Now, don't expect to receive similar responses. This is not a formula. Some of them will transfer to critical events, personal beliefs, practical hidden knowledge based on the interpretation of the concept. You will find new knowledge that you expose not necessarily a direct answer to the key concept. Now, I go back to the onion model. When you use the onion model, you can categorize all these knowledge items. These examples that you saw are go all over the 3 layers. Okay, we have techniques, we have rules of thumb, and we have also skills in ability in all 3 layers. Okay, these are the resources, okay, that I spoke about. Okay, these are the articles that I published, and this is the book of Goffman that I recommend to read and understand. It's very enjoyable. And that's it. You're all welcome to reach out. I have another 4th session later on in the course. And if you have questions, I guess that we have a few minutes. I don't hear you,
Dan,
Maria. Yes.
Maybe not only questions, but maybe people think about the ideas that were raised and can give examples how they would use it in order to reveal tacit knowledge.
Great. Great idea, Maria.
I can start, for example. What we were saying is that you were taking a specific set of occupations that are interpersonal and saying that people use, let me use a very simple word, mimics. They use
also mimics.
All kinds of types of mimics that are part of how they do their job. So what you were suggesting, if I want to reflect on it, is to ask the people as to the 4 different components of their behavior, what we call under the C, what is, and then with follow-up questions together, get to the tacit knowledge and of course explain to them the idea. So first of all, that's a great idea, but let me take it also to different occupations. Let's say I have a mechanical that checks cars. So maybe I also think that also he, in his work, has things that everyone sees and knows that is written, that is part of the book, but the things underneath, that is what would, if I'm taking it to first impression, what does he listen to? What does he look at? What are his first ways of entering the room or entering the garage with the car? And then going on with follow-up questions, understanding how he tackles the problem that he sees in front of him. That's why maybe he finds answers faster with no human being on the other side, just a car.
I don't see it the same way. Okay, first of all, it's not just mimic. Okay, what I try to explain is that when you use the 4 key concepts, you reach rules of thumb, perceptions of people on how they interact, and they will reveal to you new techniques that they did not speak about. Now, the idea that you raise here, that to take the idea, for example, to the mechanic situation, it's very interesting. Okay, but the idea of Goffman is aimed especially to the idea of the interpersonal interaction. We do what you are saying, okay, in reflective interviews, okay, when we speak about machines, okay, of course we want to understand how he interacts with the machine, okay, but this is not a social interaction because he does not have to present himself to the machine.
I tried taking your idea. I know that's not only mimics. I just want to simplify it.
Yeah.
But I tried taking the idea of the symbolic interactions and saying that first of all, it's wonderful, and B, we can use it, the same concept we can use, not like Goffman thought because he spoke about people, but for additional usages.
Okay. Other ideas? Something in the chat, maybe? Or you're going to wrap up? A lot of it about situational awareness and adaptability based on circumstances and types of people involved. Yeah, of course. By the way, interpersonal interaction is highly connected to the idea of emotional intelligence. Okay, and if I would have spoken on the same idea from the point of view of psychologists, you would have heard me speak about emotional intelligence, about influence strategies, and etc. But the idea of Goffman that he managed to give a different perspective in order to reach intimacy inside interpersonal interactions. but this is all true. Can you tell us your favorite story of using symbolic interaction really successfully, a time when it worked really well? Okay, this is a great question, Kim. Okay, I started to do that when I spoke on this person that actually has a different business clock. Okay, actually, when we started speaking about impression management, we reached another idea at all. Okay, all his interaction is different. He builds different interaction according to the business clock. Okay, whether he will meet you at morning at the office, it will be different. Even the material that he prepares are different. Okay, this is something that we did not manage to reach. Okay, I think the second idea of the perception of this person that did not want to take the role. Okay, and this surprised me. This surprised me along the interview, because all over the interview he spoke about how he's attentive and how much he cares about service and how much he cares to give a very, very good service to the customer. Now he claims at the same moment that actually his own perception is that I'm actually a teacher. I'm going to teach you as a customer. You will learn the product and you will own it and you will be the responsible. I'm not responsible to the product. Okay, this is what happens when you deal with sensitive products. We know this problem, but his perception was revealed using this idea of taking role. And I think that every time I use the presentation of the self, people bring new things. Okay, they will bring new things that you did not expect because you see them in a very defined situation. Suddenly they will start to tell you stories about situations that are not alike the situation that is in the interview. Okay, I think we summarized the ideas.
Wonderful.
Thank you all.
So you can call it a day. We will share all the materials. Thank you very much, Dan, for taking us aside and opening us to Goffman and to wonderful new ideas that can be used also for our tacit knowledge and our KM needs.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.